arguments will always bring out some kind of vulnerability, right? But if you don't see that, it's kind of like you're taking that little lesson and just throwing it in the trash.
Ladies and gentlemen,
you are now about to witness
the journey that is the Lyfe Choyces podcast.
Yeah!
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Do you find that's because you've become a different version of yourself and you just don't have time to waste with other people?
Yes and no. I think I've become way more private than I have been in the past.
Okay, well, this is excellent because we're actually going to talk about the second topic before the first topic. And my big thing is I've been sharing this. There's someone very close in my life who he has recently, I say recently, when we recorded this, it was recent. He unfortunately or fortunately came into a situation where others showed their true colors.
Mm-hmm.
And having to understand that people change and they're not always there all the time,
Mm-hmm.
or even understanding that as you grow as an individual, like as you change, as hopefully we all do regularly, we become different, and therefore the people that we surround ourselves may no longer be part of our growth,
Mm-hmm.
and it might be painful.
Yes. If you're not ready for it. If you never experienced that, should I say.
When do you think was the first time you experienced the realization of letting go of those who may have been in your life that no longer serve a positive?
So actually, it didn't happen to me. I saw it at a very young age with my mom and our cousin. So there was not to get into too many details about my family, right? But I think I was probably like 8 or 10 between that area. And I remember they just got into an argument. Like, I used to always be at my cousin's house every weekend, like when I was young. Like, that was to me like my sisters at that point because I never really had brothers or sisters. So I was always there, and they got into an argument, and my mom getting into an argument with somebody was nothing new, but I didn't expect it to end the way it did. So they got into an argument, and all of a sudden I heard my mom say, "Estefania, say goodbye to everybody because we're leaving." But like the way she said it, it was very firm, like if I was getting in trouble. So I was like, "Ooh, what'd you do?" So so I was like, all right. So I said bye to my cousins, and me and my grandma walked out that door. I swear to God, that was the last time I saw my cousins. I never saw my cousins ever again until I grew up.
I was going to say even till today, but like, okay, so there must have been like a good 10 years or so.
More.
More than that.
Yeah, it was like one day I was in Miami, and I was like, oh, I know this place. I was like, oh, my cousin, I wonder if they still live here. And I went and knocked on the door, and my cousins still lived there.
So the separation of people from your life, I mean, it wasn't necessarily like you growing as an individual. It was the circumstances that you might not have known what was going on.
Exactly. And
But-
then it just was cold turkey. So at that moment, you're young, so you don't really think about it in depth. But it didn't even bother me. Like, I was like, oh, okay, we're not going there no more. And I probably asked my mom, and my mom just gave me like a vague, like, no, we're just not going there. Like, bottom line. So that's just how I grew up. And I really think that's how I just continued my life as well. Like, no explanation. I didn't like something. I was like, oh, okay, boom, move on.
So because of this situation that you didn't know at the time what was going on, because you're right, as children, we interpret things completely different than what the actual fact is that's happening in front of us. You created this ability to just let go of things when you just figured it wasn't good.
Yeah,
And you've always had that.
always. And I think it's because I grew up so alone by myself because I didn't have brothers or sisters, and it was just natural for me to do that. So when I saw it play out the way it did and I didn't see anything negative towards it, I was like, well, how can it be bad?
It just seemed natural,
Right.
which is 100% true. It is very natural to let go of people in your life for various reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I typically do it nowadays because I give people enough chances in my own mind. And as soon as I realize that they either take me or my time for granted, my biggest thing, if they do not add positivity or forward motion in my life,
As you should.
I cut them off. I never could do that before.
Mm-hmm.
Like relationships. I would hold on to relationships way longer than I should have
Mm-hmm.
because I was so afraid of losing that person or those people, whoever was. It wasn't just the relationship, it was all the other people that were
Factors.
connected to it, right? I was like, oh, but then I'll lose all those people too.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt for a long time in my youth that more people was better. That was what you were supposed to go after
Mm-hmm.
because I grew up where like popularity was more important than solitude. And of course,
I could relate to that. When I was mainly in my 20s after I graduated high school, I think in that like 18, 19, and then further on to my 20, I would probably want to say like 25. Um, I did notice that I just loved people around. And then that's when that I was like, oh, this is nice. This is probably what like family is, you know? So at that point, that's where I really honed like grabbing onto people and just embracing and just living because I was living, you know, I was doing whatever I wanted. I was making money, right? And even it wasn't a lot, but you know, you didn't have a mortgage. So I was living and that's where in my individual life, that's where I got hurt the most because now what I perceived as family, because I'm like, oh, friends forever, you can't do that to me, and then they did.
do they ever?
So then it sharpens my way of not caring for people even more.
I don't want to say that it sharpens your not caring for other people anymore because I did have that train of thought
Mm-hmm.
in my 30s because in my 20s it happened a lot where I invested a lot of me and my time and my feelings, my emotions into people. And then time after time, you know, things happened where I almost felt like I was getting stabbed in the back or I was getting cheated on or this friend said, you know, we're going to be besties forever. And then like, you're just like, how could you do that?
Yeah. You're really a piece of shit.
Yeah,
Thanks for showing
like
me that.
but that's the thing. We don't realize back then that they actually did us a favor
Yep.
because we were then able to again, it always comes down to us having to look within ourselves or getting to look within ourselves to realize that those individuals that we thought we needed around us was the absolute opposite. Because solitude for me, like I love people, like I spend my time talking to individuals and a lot of people I don't know at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I love solitude. I love my time by myself. I love my praying. I love my reflection time. But I enjoy the interaction with other people. What I don't enjoy is when evil people show their true colors after, you know, the sheep pulling the wool over your eyes type deal.
Mm-hmm.
When we have these things happen to us, it sharpens our abilities to notice what we don't want in our life anymore so that the next time it comes around, when we do decide to open up our heart a little bit and bring somebody into our life, we're a bit more weary but aware of what actions might come up that will instantly let us know, no, motherfucker, I'm not having that in my life.
That lesson I really learned in my last relationship. What I want from somebody is not what I thought I wanted. And I was just like, man, I like opened up to you like so much more than I ever have to anybody. And I thought that what we had was so solid and great, but then I really started noticing the cracks around round 2. And I was just like, you know what? Nah. Like I don't want this because I already know where it's going to go. It's going to go back to those lessons. I already went through that.
With that person.
Yes. With that person and in other individuals because now I was starting to like nick at everything, you know, because that's what relationships do. They make you really look at yourself. And I didn't really look at myself until that round two. And then I was just like, yeah, like, I'm not saying that I changed because I don't feel like I changed. I feel like I adapt, you know, and I feel like a lot of people do. And I'm at a different point of my life.
It's interesting how attractive we find people when we first meet them, because as humans, it's nature to be drawn in by physical appearance, because that's the first thing you see. You don't see the person's personality when you first meet them. You see the physical beauty of someone, and then as you get to know them, that like, we all let our guard down a bit. We become vulnerable. We become our true self in front of these people. Then we see what we find is or is not beautiful. The most attractive, if that personality is not right, in our eyes, they become so unattractive.
Yeah.
It's so strange, because as a young boy or young man with, back then, no social media, but with TV, movies, magazines, you are brainwashed to think what is beautiful.
Yeah.
It takes us so many decades of experiences to figure out that the truth is the person is what is beautiful.
That soul.
That soul, yeah. Like, how do you connect with that individual when it's just the two of you behind closed doors, and let's say you're in an argument?
Yeah.
Does that person become more attractive, or does that person become grotesque?
And it really depends on where your mind's at for you to really like nitpick it to see if that, because that's when you realize if you can connect with somebody in an argument. That's why, like, people, I remember a lot of my friends are like, yo, you're so toxic, you love to fight. And I was like, it's not that I love to fight, but I love to see how people handle me. Because I'm great. I can be, you know, just any regular person. But in an argument, like, if you get me to an argument, I'm going to face that argument like, this is my point, and I'm going to stand by it for you to realize what the fuck I'm saying. Whether I'm right or wrong, I want you to realize what I'm saying so we can circle back and not have it happen again.
Do you, in an argument, does your temper
Oh, yeah.
boil up? Like,
Yes.
do you stay at the same tone, or do you get louder?
I have levels. I have very much levels. Like, I can argue now to a point where I won't raise my voice. That's my talent right now. I love it.
It's brilliant.
I love it. I love it because I can see somebody like raise their voice, and then I speak to them, and I'm like, no, like, listen to what I'm saying, and they actually listen instead of raising their voice. And then you'll see like their voice come down. So now it's like a superpower I have right now.
Arguing is a huge
It's an art form.
mode of conversation. It's communicating
Mm-hmm.
with heightened energy. I used to be a bomb, a fireworks show. Like, when in my early 20s, when dating girls, if we got in an argument, oh my Lord, I could never be wrong. I couldn't, not in this world. And it was louder and louder and louder. Like, I would, when I sit here and think outside the box and look at what that form of
person
me
was,
wow, like, so stupid.
Yeah.
Now I have this great ability, because I've worked so hard on becoming as conscious as I can about my thoughts while they're happening. Not after the fact, like, oh, I wish I had said that. No, while it's in here, I'm analyzing what I'm thinking and why I'm having that thought. In an argument, I don't know how I was able to do this, but I automatically switch myself over to that person.
That's a good ability.
Most people argue from the self spot, and they can't hear what the other person is saying or arguing, whether it's factual or not. They're just so and that's what's coming out.
Yeah.
I calmly have a conversation in an argument. I don't get aggressive anymore. I know that if I get aggressive, zero is coming out of this whole scenario.
So that's my last and final stage. Once I'm yelling,
You're done.
just know you might not see me again.
Yeah.
Yeah, very few people know that and have experienced it. And I know I could put my hand on the Bible, and if there's one person on this earth that will warn you before it happens, it's always going to be my mom. My mom will always tell you, like, hey, like, you're pushing it, And trust me, when you push it, like, it's just no going back. Like, I just really don't care. Because I'm a very forgiving person in a sense where I'm going to let you get yourself together. Like, if you need time, say it. Let me know. Hey, this is your plan. This is what I plan to do. Da da da. No problem. I have no problem giving people time because that's what I cherish the most currently right now. So if I'm giving you time, it's present, dude. No one gives people time, especially nowadays. They're like, if you don't get your act together, goodbye, you're gone. Businesses do it all the time. So that's why, like, when I get to that level, there's been time given. There's been patience there. Like, come on. It's
You know your limitation of what kind of bullshit you're willing to put up with.
Exactly.
You get pushed to a certain point and then you're just like, I'm out.
Yep.
I've had to many times teach myself the importance of knowing when to let go of somebody. If those conversations are the ones that are just always happening all the time, then there's no room for anything. Nothing. There's no growth at all. When arguing with someone, if you're able to stay calm in the argument, which is a great power to have, it shows the other person that you're willing to listen to them even in the worst possible moments, which is huge because nothing is butterflies and rainbows all the time, especially
And that's
with people.
when you really notice how, like, that's when you really see a person. The way, if they can look at you while you're telling them, like, hey, look at it from this perspective, and they're not willing because they're just so latched into the emotion, that's where you really see that personality trait and that soul. Because arguments will always bring out some kind of vulnerability, right? But if you don't see that, it's kind of like you're taking that little lesson and just throwing it in the trash because you can grow so much for that.
Arguments automatically put individuals in a defense mechanism. They are already back up, ready to fight. They're trying to bear down on, this is my point, I am right, you are wrong. When we can calmly sit there and say, okay, I get it. I understand where you're coming from. I can put myself in your shoes and I can understand how you feel right now. Could you, though, just think about it this way also? And if you're able to express that sentence to them and they're able to take a time, like you say, give them time.
Growth.
Oh my Lord, together.
Yes.
Whether it's a friendship or a relationship, like everything is a relationship.
That's where
but
partnership starts. How many times have you been in business with somebody or just work environments where you're clashing, and then that argument happens, and then you set all your cards on the table, and then you guys are able to be like, all right, well, I overreacted, or I didn't see it that way, or my bad, I just got a lot going on at home. You know what I mean? And then you grab your cards back, and then you just create magic, and you have the most amazing workplace ever. I know I've done it so many times. F&B is phenomenal for that. How many times do you want to kick kill a server because they're just retarded sometimes, But like, and then you have somebody just bringing you back to reality, like, hey, like, forget what's going on right now. This is what we need to do. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I love F&B. I love F&B so much because it's as toxic as it could get. It's just so beautiful, and that's where family really creates itself. But back to the situation with like being full on with the person and, like, telling them, like, hey, like, let's do this. Like, it creates partnership, like, so greatly. And I've learned that that's where I'm at right now. That's why, like, most of the time, like, when it comes to something not being like head to head. I want to hear the way it's coming out of your mind and seeing if in that ugly moment how we can
Do you have the ability in that ugly moment to understand both your side
yes.
and my side?
Yes.
Can we find a common ground?
Yes.
Can we at times admit that we are both wrong and we are both right and possibly at the same time? But where can we find something? Where can we find the solution within this problem? That is a huge thing for me. If two people are arguing and they cannot find that, it's a mathematical equation. If you're arguing, you're supposed to get to a result,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Now, that result might not be the one you want. It might
Right.
be, okay, we're done.
Yeah.
Or, oh my God, let's grow together and
Yeah.
let's move on. Like, let's move on together. But there's supposed to be a result.
Right.
That is where that it's interesting that you say this, because I had this thought in my truck this morning when I got out of the gym. I don't know why it was in there, but it was like, do I know what love is? It just popped into my head. Like, do I know what love is? I know what love is from like my parents to me, because I received what I believe is love from them.
Right.
Very fortunate, very,
Yeah.
very, very fortunate
Yeah.
that I had that human experience from my parents. They didn't always like me. I know that. I'm not a dumbass. I know my parents individually.
Were they married together?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
yes.
always?
Always, yeah.
Okay.
Till death do them part. My
So,
dad
yes,
passed.
you were very fortunate.
Yes, very, very fortunate.
Uh-huh.
I count my lucky stars for that. But knowing that they didn't always like me, I still understood that what that love was as a child receiving it from a parent. I don't know what the love is as a parent to a child. I've not experienced that human experience
Never
yet.
been stepdaddy?
No.
Ever?
No.
No.
I mean, I've slept with girls in my younger years
no.
that had a baby,
Yeah,
but
no,
not
it's
to
not
the
the
point
same.
where like I was
Every day?
around. Yeah, no, not
okay.
at all.
Got it.
But like you're saying, like you're looking for that partnership with someone. I love it because you're like you put your foot down, because where you're at in life right now is you know who you are, because you've taken the time to look inside at all positives and all negatives of this person.
Yes.
Right? And now you know what you're willing to give, the
Yes.
vulnerable and the good, like everything together to someone, but you know what you want from somebody. Do you know what love is? Because
Yeah.
yes?
Yeah.
What is it?
I don't think I can put that into words. It's the only reason why I say that is because now I'm still in the process of, I don't know, getting somewhere, but I want to say maybe a year ago, I realized that I might actually be in love with somebody, but I wasn't with them. But I was like, oh my God. Like, and it was weird because it was very mutual, but there was no words being said to each other. And it was just, the situation is just so complex and so particular, but yet everything seemed so right, but nothing was being said. So, but at the same time, I saw that aspect. I've been in a relationship where I really did love with this person. I would, bro, ride or die. Whatever you needed me to do, I was doing. Same thing with my parents. Like, they've shown me so much love now than when I was a young girl, because my mom and dad were, well, mostly my mom was tough on me. Like, oh my God. I can't even remember when she hugged me when I was little, because she really did it. So yeah, like I know the feeling of love. Like, there's no words to it. It's just the feeling. Yeah, I know what love.
You know what the feeling of the emotion
Yeah.
of love
Yeah.
is, and what that level, that standard
Yeah.
of what it should be.
And also, like, in everything, dude, like, love is beauty, So if you go outside, even like in the most like urban place, like, you're gonna have to see some kind of beauty in it. That's love. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many different aspects of love. Like, you just need to understand it,
You need to open your heart to the idea of it.
but also have the eyes to see it.
I like that. That's a wicked good segue, because I spend a great deal of time morning and evening outside. my morning started with probably about 30 minutes outside with the dog walking around.
Yeah.
And that's usually in like the darker part of the morning before before first light. And then usually
It's
sunset.
like the best morning too.
Oh, it's the best time. It's actually the best time to do a lot of things.
Yeah.
Because the energies of the actual planet are at the best possible time is that first light. Before the sunrise actually happens, is first light is where like the universe energy is more receptive.
I'm glad that you told me that, because something that changed from last time I saw you, now I work overnights.
Okay.
So my life is completely different. It's so different. And I will tell you, one of the best things that I've been doing lately is going to see the sunrise on my days off. And that's why I said, like, those are the best times. Before the sun rises and you're at the beach and it's dark, that feeling is so different compared to the rest of the day.
So a friend of mine who's been on the show many times, also a chef, Daryl Moyles, him and I, we both have similar routines where we go to the beach before the sunrise, as according to your phone says. That time, sunrise is for the dedicated, sunsets are for everyone. There's a big difference because everyone can go see a beautiful sunset, right? Because it's at the end of the day and you go with a friend and you're like, oh, let's go check it out. Those who wake up before the sunlight to go see that, that's a different level of dedication because you're not just doing it to be seen. You're doing that for you.
That's true.
And that level of wanting to be connected with whatever this is, we all have different theories on it. I speak very much about how I feel about it openly. Energy, manifestation, love of the world, love of people. I have all of that in me. But what I continuously work on is the love of myself.
Yeah.
And the best times for me, that's why my morning practice is always outside, typically before the first light, is so that I can feel that energy. I'm one of those people that, yes, I said it, I can feel that energy. I'm okay with it.
Right.
Going to the beach, quietly being there, and witnessing the beauty that is will change your life. And you do it regularly now.
I'm grateful every single day of my life. Like some days are just crappy, you know, like that's just life, you know. But even in those days, the next day, like you have to value life because it's so short. You know what I mean? Like I was thinking about it the other day. I'm like, damn, I'm about to be 36, but I feel like I'm 21. And I was like, man, and there's just so much on my goal list, so much to do, so much everything. And I was like, if this is how I feel at 36, imagine when I'm 70 with white dreads. You know what I mean? And that's in a blink of an eye. Because I remember I just moved to West Palm Beach. You know what I mean? Like time is crazy.
I couldn't agree with you more. We're going to get into that topic, how life is short, on the next episode when you come back next week. This episode's already gone by in a second. That's how quick time goes.
Yeah.
I want to thank you so much for coming by. We're going to get right into it again right after this for the next episode.
Yep.
Thank you very much, everyone out there, for coming back each and every week. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. We'll see you next Tuesday, 2 p.m., right here on the Lyfe Choyces podcast. Much love, everybody.
You are now about
The Journey, Life Choices podcast.